What's up, YouTube? How are you doing? Today is the day. Today is the day.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I die.
Quickly prepping in the background.
My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love.
Okay. I think we are ready. So, of course, you can't really see what I'm doing in the background, but I am busy prepping the surprise with the announcement. Quick double check if it's actually working.
Don't know what you want. Let's have a bit
Okay,
of fun till I die.
YouTube. How are you doing, everyone? Welcome. I know my microphone was low, but that was because of the music. So, okay. Okay, yeah. So what I did is, of course, I have a different thumbnail than usual, so you might be confused, but that is because the thumbnail that I have right now is in the style of the playlist that is launching, and I will explain everything. But first of all, good that you're here. Welcome. And we're going to cover Elliott Waves on Bitcoin in this live stream. But before we jump into Elliott Waves, I have an announcement, because the past weeks, really, I have been working on something in the background, and only since about a week I have been talking about it on stream, and not necessarily clearly explaining what is coming, but of course I showed a teaser as well yesterday of what I was preparing, and today is the day that playlist goes live. And I gotta say, it's 18 videos, a lot of work. I'm pretty proud. I'm quite noobish with thumbnails and stuff, but I think it worked out pretty well, and hopefully it will help many of you in your Elliott Wave journey. Now, there will be more videos coming. It's just that the core content of the playlist is finished, and therefore the playlist goes online. I will add some like smaller videos. I might have to re-record 2 videos because I made a small speaking mistake, but I highlighted it in the comments. It doesn't really matter. I only noticed that later. But nonetheless, it is a very special playlist, and it's gonna go live today. Actually, it already is live. So if you go to my homepage, I made a new playlist, which is called Elliott Waves Beginner's Guide. Full course made simple, Elliott Wave principle. Of course, a couple of marketing terms in there, but this is a full Elliott Wave playlist. And everything that you need to know about Elliott Waves is in this playlist. So if we go to playlists on my channel, click on view full playlist here, updated today, everything is in here. Everything that you need to know about Elliott Waves. FIB time, like I put timestamps in, the structure, the FIB targets, the FIB retracements, Fibonacci time, examples of certain structures, volume in certain volume in different Elliott Wave structures. It's all in here. It's very short, it's very concise, it's very to the point. Out of the 18 videos, 16 videos are shorter than 8 minutes. Only 2 videos are longer than 8 minutes. Per video, I highlighted one pattern or one thing that you need to know, keeping it short, spicy, to the point, you know, not too much fluff, not an hour-long video, all that stuff. So it's all here. We start with impulse, extended wave 1, extended wave 5, multi 1-2, contracting diagonal, expanding diagonal, zigzag, double zigzag, triple zigzag, expanding flat, regular flat, running flat, contracting triangle, running triangle, barrier triangle, expanding triangle, WXY, and WXYXZ. Now, of course, everyone voted for thumbnails, and actually this one had a lot of votes as well. But the main reason I eventually chose for this one compared to one that had a bit higher votes is because of the background being very clean, and it makes it easy for me to draw the pattern on the thumbnail. So what I did is, you can see, I'm zooming in, but you can see in every thumbnail I actually drew the pattern. So everyone can clearly see what the video is about. And if I open another, I need to open Canva here. So, and if I open a Canva, then what you will see is some of the other brainstorms that I had. Eventually we chose for theory, thanks to the voting in Diamond as well. But here you can see some of the thumbnails, right? So every thumbnail has the pattern that I talk about and explain. I have some of the fibs on the thumbnail as well, which I think is a nice touch. Simple beginner's guide. Instead of course, chose the word theory. Course sounds very salesy. I'm not a sales guy. You know, I just want to add as much value as I can. So we chose theory as well. And yeah, every pattern is on the thumbnail. So because of the spacing of the background here, it's actually nice or nicer to put the pattern on the thumbnail as well, which makes it very easy that like the thumbnail needs to communicate what you can expect, right? So hopefully this will, you know, let you see what you can expect in this playlist. So the playlist is live. It's completely public. A couple of more playlists that I have apparently. So it's this one here, but you'll find it on the channel. It's on the homepage. So if you go to koenztrading, it will be the first playlist because I put it at the top. It's the first playlist that you will see on the channel. Right, so it's 18 videos. Now, some of the videos that I will make that you can expect still to come and will be added to the playlist is first of all, how to study Elliott waves. I regularly get this question on live stream. Where do I start, right? How do I actually learn Elliott waves? Because it's overwhelming, it's daunting. So I will make a video about how to approach studying Elliott waves. Of course, the videos are short and concise. There's a lot of information and a lot of theory in just a couple of minutes, but how can you approach studying Elliott waves the best? That's a video that is still coming. I'm going to make a video specifically about the 886 is something that we talk about in this live stream. I'm going to make a video about the 618, which is also important, something we cover a lot in the live stream as well, when we compare an ABC, for example, against an impulse. I'm going to add a video where I will explain what structures are common, what structures are uncommon, and what structures are rare, so that you know when you look at a certain structure on the chart and you're doing your analysis, you can look at my explanation, or hopefully you write things down in a notebook and you can be, oh wait, this is a common structure, this is a rare structure, so probabilities are higher for that, you know, like, so you know. So there's a video coming about common, uncommon, and then rare patterns. And arguably an important one is I'm going to make a couple of videos about wave developments. So what I mean with wave developments, and this is something that I have covered actually in the final view videos in the educational playlist here. So you will find this explanation in the triangle videos and the WXY videos. Now what I mean with wave developments is that before you start looking at a triangle, before you start looking at a WXYXZ, but mainly with triangles this is the case, or a zigzag. I think I also cover it actually in the video about a zigzag, but there's gonna be a development in price. So when you don't know what's happening, you can't, when you have a zigzag to the upside, you're not gonna immediately think, oh, triangle. right? That's not going to be your first thought when you have a zigzag on the chart. And also when you have a wave A, B, C, D, and potentially an E, now we have a finished triangle. However, as price is moving along, there's going to be other scenarios that are going to have higher probabilities until at least wave D is in generally. So of course, when you see a structure like this, your first thought is going to be a zigzag to the upside. So this is going to be labeled either a finished ABC, but in a longer corrective structure, you're going to label this a wave W or a wave A. You don't yet know. And then you get a move to the downside, but you don't take the low here. So it can't be a flat unless you hit the 0.9 fib from the low to the high of A, but I don't want to go too deep. But that means that in this case, you're going to label this an X because, you know, we didn't take the low, didn't hit the 0.9 fib, right? And then you move up and you're going to be looking for a wave Y, right? But wave Y is not allowed to be a zigzag in a sideways double combo. So the moment you get a single zigzag and then you start retrace, you know, so a wave is developing. It's the same with an impulse and an ABC. This is an ABC, this is an impulse. Now, until wave 4, you don't know what you're looking at, right? You're going to be counting this either a wave ABC / 1, 2, 3. And depending on the move to the upside, the extension, as well as the following range, you will get a better idea of if you're looking at a 618, or an impulse or an ABC. If you're looking for a wave 4 and price hits the 618, you're going to be looking for price to move down. Higher probability it's an ABC. Your only alternative is a double 1-2, but I do recommend to watch the video about double 1-2s, right? To get some information about double 1-2s, which is over here. I call it multi 1-2 pattern. Here you have double, triple, quadruple 1-2. So I couldn't really give it a number, right? So I just called it multi 1-2. So the playlist is online. It's public, it's there, and more videos will follow. As explained, I'm going to add the 886 video, 618 video. I still have to make this, but this is the core content, so that's why I put it online. 886 video, 618 video will come as well. A video about what is common, uncommon, and rare with regards to the structures. I do tend to mention it in the videos, like I say, hey, we're looking at a WXYXZ pattern. This is a rare corrective structure. But I just want to create an overview for all of you so you know what's common, what's uncommon, what is rare. And I will also make a video about how to go and approach Elliott Wave studying-wise, right? And then finally, some videos about how waves develop and how you are counting waves as they come. Because as easy as it looks in a video, oh, look, we got a diagonal. Well, in the video, I already drew the diagonal for educational purposes. But when you only have this structure on this chart, you're not going to be thinking about a diagonal. At this moment in time, you're probably thinking about either an ABC to the upside or looking for a 1, 2, 3 to the upside or maybe a double 1, 2 to the upside. So, you know, as waves are coming in, you get more information, probability starts changing, and that is eventually, of course, important in your personal trading as well. So that will probably be quite a lot of work as well to find a good way to explain how waves change over time and impact the scenarios that you think about. It is, of course, something that you always see in my content. You see it in my live streams, you see it in my videos, because, of course, if you just follow all of the videos on the channel and every update, you get the, hopefully actually, you get an idea of how my counts change as more information comes in and how the probabilities change as information comes in. I also always, of course, try to do my best to communicate probabilities in every video. And I also, now in the past week, have been experimenting with putting inside the probabilities a part that shows how probabilities change. So, you know, this is quite recent over here. I've only done this in the past week. So we have the probabilities, but then also how do probabilities change, right? And that depends on what price does. And this is something I've added. It's quite new. I might not edit every video, but whenever I can, I will, because it's important to have that information, because as new info comes in, counts will possibly change, and probabilities are always changing, which is important for trading as well. So that being said, we're going to start, of course, with the Elliott Wave analysis. But yeah, this is it. This is the surprise. It's online, the whole playlist. It's a full beginner's guide a full course, full Elliott Waves made simple, whatever you want to call it, full playlist about every structure in Elliott Waves, which includes the structure you're looking at, the Fibonacci targets, either extended or retracement targets, Fib time targets, and what's most common or rare in Fib time, volume, and in some cases I added some examples as well. For example, in WXY videos, I show you all of the different WXY or WXYXZ possibilities, and in the triangle videos I explain, I also give an important tip, and then after the tip I explain why that tip is so relevant by showing you WXY and flat structures which have a higher probability before a triangle eventually gets the highest probability. So I already talk a little bit about how waves shape and change probabilities as they come in these videos. So yeah, there you go. So hopefully you're gonna enjoy the playlist. Again, it's public on YouTube. You just go to the channel and you'll find it there. It's I put it at the top. So on the home screen, it's gonna be at the top. So here you go. And you can just go through all of the stuff. If you find something that is like maybe I made a mistake in my speaking, someone highlighted already something, so I put that in the comment. But if you notice a mistake or whatever, just send me a message. You know, I'll make sure to note it down and then possibly re-record the video and then put it in the playlist. So you know, it will be a playlist that will evolve over time with new content coming in as well. So yeah, there you go. New playlist on the channel. Took a lot of time, but hopefully you find it very, very valuable in your personal Elliott Wave journey and your trading as well. So yeah, cheers everyone. Of course, I mean, without you guys being here and the channel growing this quick in such a short amount of time, I probably would have never made this, of course, if it wasn't for all of you being here on the channel. So and getting all the questions about Elliott Waves. So yeah, there you go. And that is it. Okay, what's up everyone? Lots of talking in the beginning, but you know, good to have you here. Welcome. Just quickly scrolling. It's for free. Yeah, it's for free. There's no paywall. You just go to the channel. It's public. It's absolutely free. It's public. This is it. There's no paywall. There's no whatever. It's everything that I know from Elliott Waves is in the videos. And this will mean that in the memberships, gold will change a little bit. And I already let gold know this earlier today, because the focus of gold, I think I wrote it here in stream plan. So the focus of gold actually doesn't change. So I wrote this here. You can read it yourself as well. But gold was about helping people learning Elliott Waves, shorten their time, their learning curve to master Elliott Waves. It's a lot about feedback, Q&A, checking their counts, doing counts on alts, private live streams with the community, the gold community as well. And this will remain the same. It's just that I put the short form content online. Inside gold, there is still the longer form content as well. There's coin coverage with different altcoin videos and how I approach charts from empty to full counts. It's a lot about Q&A, answering questions. So gold is a lot more me, basically, where I help people with their counting, answering questions, giving feedback, private live streams. That is the focus here. So that hasn't changed, but this is completely free. Absolutely, this is completely free. Yeah. So you can check this out. Yep. So yeah. Chantal, I wouldn't know if there's a book in Dutch about Elliott Waves. There's an English one which is called Elliott Waves Principle, but I don't know a Dutch one, to be honest. Cheer. Thanks everyone. I appreciate your support as well on the channel, and yeah, cheers, Jen. Guys, share this channel to your local trader. Thanks, Rostam. Appreciate it, man. The additional info with help helped me a ton last week with the complexity of this range. Yeah. Cheers, Job. Yeah, and that will be a focus in the videos as well. So in the triangle videos, I covered this already. And so triangles in general are quite interesting structures, I should say, because let me just open the video here. Let me put the sound off, and I'll show you what I mean. So in the video about, for example, a contracting triangle, I write it down. I put all, you can click through it yourself, but eventually I go to tip and example, which is the biggest portion of this video. And then here you can see the tip: only consider a triangle after wave D is in. Up until that point, other scenarios most likely have a higher probability. Example, a WXY. And then I explain a WXY versus a triangle. So you can see the triangle trend lines. It's the same as a contracting triangle, A, B, C, D, E, right? But in this case, we can also count this as a WXY, where I don't know exactly where in the video. Oh, here we go. So now it's a WX with a flattened Y, creating a fake out in a triangle. So I explain how to compare the WXY versus a triangle and how then probabilities are impacted as we get more information. So that is just one of the things. And of course, in every video you will find the timestamps here. So structure, FIP targets, FIP time, tips and example in this particular video, and then the outro. And every outro will lead you to the next video as well. So over here, running triangle. So immediately you can go to the next video, bam, right? So you're there, you're just following the course, following the playlist, following the videos. You can click on the next one. It's in the correct order as well. So you just immediately tuck, 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 tuck. And then once you're at the final video, well, the final video is a WXYXZ, and that at the end screen, you will be refer to the most recent update or video that I then make. So that is how the end screen has been planned. So cheers, maybe a band-aid. Okay. okay. I will cover Elliott Waves and all my thoughts right now. So it's time to get into the analysis now. To take the top, yeah, we're gonna cover this. So let's start. So okay, that is the surprise. That is the announcement. So yeah, I am also planning actually. So we're gonna go into Elliott Waves now, right? I am actually also planning to do or to update my thumbnails for all the regular videos, to have more of a branding, more of a style, like make it my own. And I do like the current thumbnail that I have on this video as well, like similar to what you see, of course, in the new educational playlist here. I just struggle to put a Bitcoin logo in here that looks nice because I would like a Bitcoin logo in there, but it's just difficult to actually put one in that makes the thumbnail still look nice and clean. I like a very less is more type of look. Very clean, very, not too much pa. And of course, the thumbnails at the moment are very busy. There's a lot happening. So I'm trying to get a more clean look, like more Koens branded, right? Blue, green, that's the colors that we use. And then of course, white. That's the colors of my brand that I already have since 2016, because that's when Koens started back in the gaming and esports industry. So, okay. Cheers, everyone. Thank you for all of your support and being here on the channel. Make sure to, if you want, share some of the Elliott Wave stuff with friends, family, other traders. Doesn't matter. Especially FIP time is a hot topic. Many people ask me about FIP time. And in the new educational playlist here, public on YouTube, I cover FIP time in every video. So every video is FIP time as well. Because it's very difficult to find information about FIP time, I included it in every video, pattern specific. So nothing wrong with minimalism. I agree. But I would like a Bitcoin logo just so people immediately see not only the word Bitcoin, but the logo speaks, you know. So yeah, it would be good. But yeah, not for the Elliott Wave course. So for the Elliott Wave or the educational playlist. So here I don't want the Bitcoin logo. This is just Elliott Waves, right? But maybe in my normal thumbnails on the channel, I'm considering using the thumbnail like this one, but then maybe put a Bitcoin logo or just minimalistic, just like this. I mean, it's very recognizable. The moment you see this thumbnail, you know, oh, you know, that's koenztrading. So I just want to make sure everyone is able to find me if they wish to find me. Okay. Woo, a lot of talking, not so much analysis just yet. In the normal thumbnails, it makes sense. Yeah, it's something I gotta think about. Okay, let's start. Let's start. Lots of chatting. Hopefully you're happy with the new playlist. Let me know, give me feedback, comment below the videos what you think. Write stuff in Discord, doesn't matter. I'm gonna make a post in Discord after the live stream as well. Yeah, hopefully you're gonna enjoy it. Let's start with the analysis, and thank you everyone for being here, and welcome. So, okay, what I'm gonna do is, of course, as always, first go over the different scenarios and what we have to pay attention to, and then we go into chatting and Q&A, answering all of the questions, and chatting with all of you, of course. Okay, what we're gonna do is I want to at least include the macro, just like yesterday, because I do think it's important to zoom out again, right? Higher perspective. Price moving to the downside here. So I'm gonna start on the weekly, and then we're gonna cover all the local stuff, right? Which includes the current range that we're in, and what we have to pay attention to with regards to the levels and how probabilities change. So that's what we are going to do. So we're going to start on the weekly. I always like to start on the weekly. Hopefully hopefully the people that are here often don't get bored of looking at weekly stuff. But it is, I always, in the morning when I wake up and I go to my PC and I look at the chart, first thing I do is just quickly, okay, this is where we are. I go through the weekly and then then I zoom in. It's just part of my routine because I want to know the bigger context. So, okay. Let's go. We are minute what now? 36. Let's wait till it actually hits 37 so it's easier to remember for me when we started. Okay, so let's start then. Weekly time frame, bullish scenario, a 5-wave impulse to the upside in yellow, right? That's what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we want to see at least 2 more pushes to the upside. We want to see a wave 5 in green, then a multi-month range in wave 4 in yellow, and another push to the upside in a wave 5 in yellow. Your invalidation for this particular scenario is the 0.618 at 49.3k, taken from the low to the high of your 3. Common target for 4 is on the chart, 57.6 to 53.3k. Right? Now, if we then zoom in to the lower time frame, your bullish scenario here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive structure. So we have wave 1, 2, 3, finish, looking for 4 and 5. Most common target for 5 is the green box, 73.3, 75.8. Because wave 1 and 3 are quite similar in length in price, take a fib time, or I gotta mind my talking here. Take a trend-based fib extension from the low to the high of 1 to the low of wave 2, and you can see that wave 3 went to the 1.236, which is quite shallow for a wave 3, as most commonly a wave 3 is your biggest, strongest, highest volume, most extended wave, at least hitting the 1.618, which is not the case. So therefore, there is the potential for wave 5 to be the extended wave, where the target for 5 is 91.3k. Now, because a extended fifth wave is rare compared to an extended third wave, there is also probabilities, if we talk about bullish scenarios, for a double 1-2. 1-2-1-2, continuation to the upside. And in that case, we're going to look for 1-2-1-2, 3, big 3, and then eventually 4 5s at a later stage. Of course, that means that locally we want to see continuation to the upside. We don't actually want to see these lows taken, even though the invalidation officially for this scenario is 65.5. It would start to become bearish if you take the lows of this range. Also in the multi 1-2, right? 1-2-1-2 continuation up. Preferably, you're not going to break the lows that we have in this range, and you're gonna create higher lows as we then move towards the upside, right? Now, the most bullish scenario, if your wave 4 is in, right, at the low here, and it's finished, your most bullish scenario is, of course, an impulse to the upside. We're going to talk about probabilities in a second, right? So your most bullish scenario is a double 1-2. 1-2 in blue, meaning we look for a bigger 3, 4, and a 5. And inside wave 3, we have the wide count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It remains quite difficult to end this range at this particular low with a high probability Elliott Wave count. So in this range, can't be denied that the probabilities would be a bit higher to continue the range still. Also, from a more economic perspective, it would be quite interesting to stay in this range till at least the 12th next week, Wednesday, because of all the stuff that we have going on here, which should be a very volatile day by the looks of it. So that could definitely be interesting. But from an Elliott Wave perspective, this low here doesn't have the greatest probabilities to end this range. So probabilities therefore would be a bit higher to continue the range, which is something I communicated in the morning update as well. But nonetheless, we need to keep an eye on this scenario. As long as it is an option, right, we keep an eye on it. So here, what we're looking for is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in this case, if wave 3 is finished, we look for a retracement in 4. Common target area 236382 from the low of 2 to the high of 3. 70.7k, 70.3k. Your invalidation is the high of 1. Wave 1 and wave 4 are not allowed to overlap in an impulse. So if price moves down to 70.3k, this scenario is invalidated. And the only bullish option that you then have from this low would be a triple 1-2. 1-2, 1-2, another 1-2, and continuation up. But the probabilities are at the moment not too great for a triple 1-2. Just yet. So we continue to observe. As long as we don't hit this invalidation, right, we're good. Now in this scenario, we want to move to the upside, take the high of 3 before, of course, taking this high over here at 70.3k. So we want to find support and move up to then finish wave 5 in white. Therefore the blue 3, range in 4, final leg up in 5. Finishing an impulse, expecting a bigger retracement to the downside. Looking at the resistance we have to the upside, we are just below the daily. As you can see at 71.4k, would actually be quite interesting to hit that daily. Then we have a daily naked point of control at 72k, which is just above the high that we have here as well. And then we have the box where we have a daily and daily naked point of control between 73.1k and 73.5k. So these are the areas that I keep an eye on to the upside. Let's put an alarm on the daily as well. There we go. Okay. Your second bullish scenario, which would carry a bit higher probabilities compared to an impulse at the moment, because it's not easy to end the range at the low here, would be a WXY. Now I actually want to highlight a scenario from Bettina. So I don't know, Bettina, if you're here, but Bettina shared in Discord this picture, and I was like, oh, that's actually interesting. So I've been always, I've been looking at the WXY a lot. So W, X, and then a wave Y. But wave A looking for a B and a potential C is definitely quite interesting, where we then look for a flat in this sideways structure. Now, taking the high at 72K will increase probabilities for bullish scenarios. So any move down would have a high probability of C or Y, which is the case in the scenario of Bettina. So here what Bettina is looking at is a WXY in wave A, perfectly okay. Inside wave B here, right? Or this can also be a zigzag, but oh no, A, B, C, this is a flat. So an A, a B, and a C. And inside B, she's then looking for a wave A, B, C, which means a flat A, B, C. It has to be said that as interesting as this scenario looks, having a flat structure inside the red wave B is very rare. But I do think it's a fun idea from Bettina. So you have an ABC flat, that's what you're looking for. Preferably then wave 5 moves a little bit higher. Well, but maybe by this time we are actually good. The 0.9, is it touched? No, not yet. So preferably we actually still move a little bit higher before a C leg to the downside. So I can't give it the highest probabilities because of a flat ABC inside wave B of a bigger flat ABC in red. So we have 3, 3, 5 in red, and inside wave B in red, you look for another flat, ABC, a regular flat. But a flat in B inside, a bigger flat is very rare. But I think it is a fun idea, and I wanted to at least share it. But I prefer to look for the WXY as it stands. So we then have WX and then our wave Y here. Second bullish scenario, right? And inside wave X, we have the internal WXY. Now, the wave Y common target area is the blue box. That's where we are right now. And preferably, your wave C and wave Y is going to end before the 2 fib time, which is sitting on the 6th of June, 2 p.m., which is tomorrow. Now, we can't give this wave X any other low. We can't put wave X down here. And that is because if we look for a flat in wave Y, meaning zigzag, flat, flat, if we would put wave X at this low, for example, then this is going to be A, B, C, okay? It's just that time-wise, your C becomes too long. Because now your wave C is over twice the length of A plus B, which significantly lowers probabilities for a wave C. So therefore, preferably, we have wave X here, finishing a flat in X, and then A, B, 5 wave C. That also means that in this particular case, we can still have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 4, 5, as long as you just don't finish after the 2. Continuation of the range, in other words. Of course, in a wave Y, we want to see a corrective move to the downside, either a flat or a triangle. On the daily time frame, the most bearish scenario remains a zigzag, and as long as it's not invalidated, it is going to be the most bearish scenario. And here, arguably your invalidation is actually this high. Zigzag ABC, leading diagonal in A, 3-wave move in B, zigzag, looking for a 5-wave C to the downside. Invalidation 72K, as then in B, we have an ABC zigzag, so preferably that's your high, and you look for a wave C down, a 5-wave impulsive structure. Wave C common target area is down here, right? The 1 to the 1.236, very clear. That's where you want to see support, preferably to also keep the bullish market structure on the weekly time frame and not hit the invalidation at 49.3K. So preferably we stay above it. Now the probabilities have decreased for this scenario because of the high that we made today. Because if we zoom in, that wave C should be an impulse to the downside in a wave 1 and then a 2, and then you look for a 3, 4, 5, right? Much lower prices. But price hit the 886, and the 886 is a rare target for 2, probability-wise. It's still a target, but it is a very rare target for a wave 2, while the 886 is a common target for a wave B or a wave X, which increases probabilities that if you do move down, you're looking at a wave C or a wave Y, which in turn increases probabilities to move back up at a later stage and take out the high. So just because price touched the 886 here, the probabilities have increased for scenarios that are going to take this high and have decreased for scenarios that move towards the lower 50s. Right? The 886, as rare as it is for a wave 2, is still common for a wave B. So therefore, this is a scenario we got to keep in mind. Instead of a 1-2 and a very big wave 3 to the downside moving into the lower 50s, we have a zigzag locally, 535 ABC. In that case, target for wave C is on the chart, 65 6K, 62 1K, and then we want to see price moving up. This ABC is then a sub-degree of a bigger three-wave structure, after which we expect continuation of the trend towards the upside. The three-wave structure I then talk about is a WXY, where we then have a zigzag 535 inside wave Y. Common target area for Y, 63.2K, 54.3K. However, if this is an ABC, you won't make it all the way down here unless your wave C is going to extend very far. But you can see the 1.618, which is already an extension target, is around the 0.618. So this would be the main area of interest and not moving all the way down to the mid-low 50s pretty much. So when we then talk about probabilities of the scenarios, then the probabilities with the new information that we have haven't really changed for now. So on the 4 hour, right? And 4 hour meaning we're now on the daily. So I should actually start with the weekly now. On the weekly time frame, the probabilities are higher for the bullish scenario, right? So a scenario where we are going to be looking for price to move to the upside. On the daily, the probabilities are also higher to continue towards the upside, with or without a drop first. The probabilities are low to move to the mid to lower 50s because we touched the 886 locally. So the probabilities naturally are higher to first take out this high before maybe at a later stage go this low, but not at the moment. On the 4 hour time frame, locally, let's go to the 4 hour, the probabilities are higher to continue this range. And that is because it is difficult to end from an Elliott Wave point. I should actually say low probabilities. It doesn't have great probabilities to end the corrective structure of this range at this low, right? Which therefore increases probabilities that if this is not the end of a corrective structure here, based on the Elliott Wave probabilities, the probabilities naturally would be higher to still stick around in this range for a bit longer and just do what we do best, which is absolutely going sideways on Bitcoin. And with regards to probability, and as long as you don't at least hit some significant levels, the probabilities are also, of course, higher for bullish scenarios, but preferably the WXY. So what I wrote here is, okay, we have bullish and bearish scenarios. The bearish impulse, maybe I should change this to the zigzag, which is absolutely valid. But anyway, if we are bullish, then the probabilities would be a bit higher for a WXY and up compared to this structure locally becoming a bigger impulse. And that is just because of the low, right? And it's all probabilities. So generally, based on the above, a continuation of the range would have higher probabilities in that case. I keep an eye out for potential proof of weakness locally. Based on a retracement, we can reanalyze probabilities. If we do get a move to the downside, if it is corrective, that would be bullish. We're going to look for a move up. If it is impulsive, that would be bearish. That depends on the retracement. Changing probabilities, important section. If price hits 70.3K, which is over here, it invalidates the impulse to the upside as shown at the beginning. And that means probabilities increase to continue this range. If price moves down to 68.5K, it invalidates a 1112, increases the probabilities for the WXY or bearish scenarios. Should actually add that. And if price takes out 72K, it invalidates a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or a wave A, B, zigzag, C, so a zigzag to the downside. And that also increases probabilities for bullish scenarios, because if you take this high, the probabilities will immediately increase that even if you do move down afterwards, you're still going to look for continuation of the trend on the higher time frames. So that is how probabilities are changing with new information coming in. Yeah, probabilities, no? So we had some bearish CVDs as well locally. So lower higher in price. Over here we had a higher high on the CVD with the first time actually moving up. So this one has played out. 5 minutes. So yeah, that has played out, and you know, waiting price moving down here locally now. So I do prefer to keep an eye on CVD divergences on the right side of the recent high. So now that price is finding its way locally here to the downside, the past 3 15-minute candles, I prefer to keep an eye on CVD divergences that form over here on the right. So at the moment, price moving down, CVD moving down, nothing really happening. With regards to support though, do you think that's quite interesting? As you can see on my chart, and I put all of my folders on, right? The target boxes are on, point of controls, high time frame point of controls, and the time frame levels. Look how empty it is. Look how empty it is below price. So yeah, let's see. So there's not much going on below price. Now the support areas that will be important are going to be volume levels with the fixed range volume profile. So if I pull it from this recent range here, value area high at 70, right? 70K. You don't really want to lose that, would increase probabilities to fall back inside the range. And if we zoom out, so let me remove this again. And I also remove all of my stuff. There we go. Then currently, voila. This one is also important. We are above the value area high, 70.3K. Don't really want to get back in this range again, right? And then retest value area high, increases probabilities to move to the point of control. Holy moly. So, So with regards to local support, value area high, that is here, is important. And on the 1 hour time frame, the more local volume profile is important. And then finally, you can pull volume levels in the recent ranges as well. So this recent range here, right, important support. On a 4 hour time frame, no, 12 hour, it's not really an order block. So pretty much the support to the downside are going to be these volume levels. There's not much else that I have down here, except for support resistance with previous ranges and the volume levels of previous ranges. So yeah, the volume at the moment is highest in the recent push to the upside. Of course, in an impulse, preferably, we then talk about a wave 3 here. Right, if we talk about this scenario, so preferably this is your 3, you still look at 4, 5, 4, 5, right, as it is by far most common to have the highest volume in a wave 3. So the moment price touches this high now, probabilities will immediately switch because this impulse is invalidated, increasing probabilities to continue the range, which was the highest probabilities anyway. And if we move down, don't find support, take out this low, then the probabilities increase for the WXY or the bearish scenario to look for the lows of the range. That depends on the retracement, if it is impulsive or corrective. That's only something we'll figure out as new information comes in. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah. If you weren't here and you just came in as price is moving down, wait. First, let's put the Elliott Wave analysis thing on the chart. Elliott Wave analysis at, when did we start? 37, no? Man, my throat, yo. Altcoins is a Sunday. Altcoin live streams on Sunday. Yo. Hello, koenztrading. If you just came in then and you saw the thumbnail, the announcement today and the brand new surprise is that I have launched publicly a completely free, accessible, full Elliott Wave theory beginner's guide. Everything, every scenario is all in this playlist. You can find it on the channel, either on the home screen, or you go to playlists, view full playlist, and then all the videos are here. So 1 second. Oh, thank you. Thanks, babe. So everything is in here, all the different structures. I will add some other videos, but the core content is in. All of the Elliott Wave structures are in here, but I will add a video about the 886, 618, about how to learn Elliott Waves effectively, how probabilities change as new information comes in. I'll probably want to add a risk management video somewhere, but this is the core content. So it's completely public. Everything you need to know about every structure with regards to the structure itself, the FIB targets and FIB extensions, FIB time. In every video I talk about FIB time as well, volume of the different structures, and in some videos I also talk about how probabilities change over time, or you'll see it anyway. So this is it's all in there. Yeah, FIB time is in here as well. So every video I talk about FIB time, and it's everything you need to know. It's a complete beginner's guide. So every structure has its own video. Only 2 videos out of the 18 are over 8 minutes. All the others are less than 8 minutes in time. So it's very concise, very short, very to the point. No bullshit. Everything I know is in the content. So make sure to check it out if you want to learn more about Elliott Waves. So yeah. Okay. I see this quickly here. Cheers, Dexter and Craig, and 4-star strength. Umar, did you make a video on your pre-made FIB and FIB extension tools and settings say for each like user? This is something that is in gold. So that, yeah, I gold is all about feedback, Q&A, and of course, like Elliott Wave education, you can find everything online. So I was like, it makes sense to just put everything online, but in gold you still have the long form Elliott Wave theory content, but it's not new info. It's the short and concise videos. Everything is in there. But it's more about, gold is more about feedback, Q&A, private live streams, and additional videos, altcoin videos, how to count from empty chart to full plans. Videos about I have an additional target box video and a volume profile video and some other videos in there. So okay, I quickly move up to see where we were before the analysis, or before we started. We were, where were we? A large fractal of what happened on the left, 71, 61, 58. Yeah, price doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. Of course, I can't give financial advice. It's important to have a plan. So if you know what you're looking for, then it becomes easier to trade, but you need a clear plan. So why did you enter the short? What is your target? What is your stop loss? This question, I guess, is also related to fear of losing, which is a psychology problem, but it's attached to also probably either having a risk management problem or not knowing where your stop loss is, or not feeling okay with the amount you're about to lose if price takes out your stop loss. Because if you have a clear plan and you accept the risk management of your plan and you have the probabilities in your favor, a trade can be a loss or a win. It doesn't matter what it is as long as you follow your plan. You can't win every trade. A strategy, likely 50% win rate, 60%, if you're good, 70, crazy is 80. But even 40% win rate, 1 to 3 RR, you're going to be a great profitable trader. But with a 50% win rate, you still lose 50 trades. But you got to be able to accept the loss, because 50 trades are going to be losers and 50 trades are going to be 3% winners if you trade 1% stop loss, right? So yeah, have a plan. The CVD video should work. Everyone is able to see it. So I don't know why it doesn't work on your phone, but it's likely a phone problem. So of course I can't make a new video just because it doesn't work on a phone. So the CVD video works for everyone so far. If we go all the way to the bottom, then here, CVD video. It's still online, it's still public, so it should work. Unless I accidentally removed it, but I just saw my homepage, it's still there, so it must still be there. Cheers, RC Cole. Yeah, experience. I was chaos. That was me. So especially when I started trading, I mean, chaos was my second name. I was so emotional, man, back in the day, back in the day. Yeah, crazy times. The toots, I guess, the theory looks really good. Is this for all? Yes. So the whole playlist, everything, Elliott Wave's beginner's guide for, it's public. Everything is in here. Everything about Elliott Waves is in this playlist. All the theory, Fib targets, the structures, volume, Fibonacci time, and more. And it's I recommend going through it, starting of course with impulse, because that's the basis. So I also made the content in such a way, right? The order is not random. The order that I've designed the guide in is, in my opinion, how you should learn Elliott Waves. Start with an impulse, the impulses, right? Multi 1-2 is also impulses. Then go into diagonals, because those are also part of impulsive structures. Then you have the zigzags, then the flats, then the triangles, and then the WXYs, which are arguably most complex. So I recommend starting here and just run through it. I actually have no idea how long the complete playlist is, but only 2 videos are over 8 minutes and all the others are below 8 minutes. So I think you're going to be done in what, 2 hours, probably less. I would actually need to check, would be quite interesting. I think, you'll have all that information in like no time. So it's public. Trading is difficult as fuck. It is. Pleasure, Alan Kasari. Pleasure. How much leverage do you use? That's Ace 25x. Could you do a quick overview? Oh yeah, so that's altcoin stream on Sunday. Do you see a Elliott Wave on the 2021 run. You mean the move to the upside? Absolutely. Absolutely. But of course, that's a very old count. So, and I like my clean count. So the moment a structure is clear, I remove all the low time frame and stuff counts because it's not important anymore. So yeah, you can absolutely count the 2021 run impulsively with multiple 1-2s and a wave 3 with the volume and then wave 4-5s, and yeah, absolutely. Hairball. Oh yeah, bless you. Yeah, I don't know, like in my throat, what was going on, but FIP times are in the content. Answer this one. Yeah, so pleasure, Hero. Cheers, Ekaterina, Eddie. Appreciate it. Themistocles Castellano. Enjoy going through the videos, and also, feel free to give feedback if you notice anything. Always talk with the community. Aren't most of you guys in longs? I am. Still in a long from lower. Actually, I'm still in 2. So yeah, I'm in 2 lows from lower, and I'm in 1 short from pretty much the high. Interestingly, so on it's just probabilities. Weekly time frame probability is higher to move up. Daily time frame probability is higher to move up, right? Even if you do move below the range. 4-hour probabilities are they remain bullish, but a continuation of the range would be attractive because of this low not being great as a low of the range. But you first want to move down and at least then invalidate wave 4 by taking out the high. And if you take this high, that is when probabilities start to switch. So as long as you stay above 70.3k, arguably probabilities are higher to move up. But the moment you touch 70.3k, the probabilities switch to a continuation of the range, as then the only bullish scenario remaining from the low is going to be a 1-1-1-2 in that case, probability-wise. And that means a bigger correction for a 2 and then a 3 up, or wave Y down. So, and that is the WXY as explained, where you then have your W, look for X, and then wave Y is either a triangle or a flat. So you're either going to be looking for this, or you're going to be looking for this. Grab the highs, move down in a C, A, B, C, and then continue the trend towards the upside, which would be quite interesting as well. Ace. Make sure that especially in the beginning, like I actually answered someone about, wait, let me show you. I think I answered someone in questions to Kun today. Yeah, so Felix, I answered Felix having some troubles trading. So what I said is, sorry to hear about the laws. Before continuing to trade, I recommend following 6 steps I always talk about, right? And then if you go to this post, then this is recommended, right? These steps, I always talk about them on stream, but now you can also read them. So it's 7 because I added the first one, but that one should kind of make sense, I suppose. But at the beginning, just start with a very low budget. It's your tuition money. If you can learn trading and build a plan and everything for a low amount of money, it's better than putting 10k in an account and then losing 10k, and then after 10k you learned how to actually trade. So keep your tuition money low, right? You don't want to pay more than you need to for your school. You just pay because you have to, right? So keep it very, very low. Also, you don't even have to pay in trading, of course. You can also learn about trading without, at the beginning, putting money on the line. But you gotta try as many tools and indicators as you can first. Build experience, find your favorites, build statistics, combine some of the favorites, build more statistics, tweak and adjust, more statistics. Start trading with low money once the stats are good, work on trading psychology, up the budget, getting used to wins is easy. Getting used to bigger losses is not. So up the budget slowly. Those 6 steps will save many traders from losing everything. Is it enough to learn and practice off the beginners playlist? Yes, everything is in there. I just call it a beginner playlist because the way I present the content is made as easy as possible. So it's very structured. It's almost the way, like, I'm a global keynote speaker, right? That's also what I do. Besides trading and YouTube, I speak globally. And of course, I have my slides and and less is more. So I present every scenario in the playlist almost like a PowerPoint presentation, really. But everything you need to know is in here. I just call it beginner guide because the way I present it to you is as easy as one can make Elliott waves. So it's very simple. It's explained as simple as I can make it. As simple as I can make Elliott waves. Of course, Elliott waves, it does have certain terminology that has to be used, but it's just that I made it as simple as possible, and that is why I call it a beginner's guide. But everything in here is also advanced. If you are quite good or experienced with Elliott waves, you'll find you will still learn from going through all of this. If you don't know anything about FIP time, but you know a lot about other stuff, you will learn from every video because every video covers FIP time as well. So it's just that I use beginner's guide because I present it in the most easy way that I can, but it's still very short, concise, to the point, no bullshit. Structure, FIP targets, Fibonacci time, volume, potentially some examples, video done. Yeah. So yeah. So it's all in there. Cheers, Ashin. What's up, Bilyamin? Welcome. Kiwi here. What's up, Kiwi? Been sitting watching live in the background for a few months. I probably may miss a stream for wow. At 2 a.m. and NZ is probably New Zealand. No? That's crazy. Oh, wait. That's why your name is Kiwi, of course. NZ Kiwi. Whoa, from New Zealand, Joe. Man, that is still a country I wish to visit together with Australia. I find your analysis very insightful and it helps me to better understand Elliott Wave's psychology behind them. I will definitely be going through the theory playlist and taking notes tomorrow. That's what I'd like to hear. Cheers, Kiwi. Yeah, New Zealand, 2:30 a.m. 2:30 a.m. Respect to you. Hopefully, tomorrow you don't have to get up early, or arguably today in your case, because it's already 2:30. So, yeah. Cheers, Kiwi. And yeah, that's what the playlist is for. You know, it's you go through it, making notes. And I will make a video on how to learn Elliott waves, because just going through all the videos, watching would be potentially a step one, but of course it will be very much about having a notebook, making notes, and especially taking it slow. As short as the videos are in the educational playlist here, as short as they are, there's so much info in there. And if you're new, start with the impulse video. Maybe the first 3, but start with the impulse. Don't continue yet with extended wave 1, and first study impulse out of your head, just like you're at school. Just make sure you learn that one. You know the ins and outs of an impulse. You know the retracement. You know the FIP targets. You know what to look for. Then go to the chart and try to identify impulses. And you put the targets on the chart. You put the extension on the chart. You do some FIP time work. And after you've done that and you feel confident with an impulse, you go to video 2 and then video 3, right? And every video, preferably, you make the notes, you study everything, and step by step, because Elliott waves can be very overwhelming and very daunting. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of theory, and that makes it difficult to learn and to discipline oneself to keep going at it, because you don't understand shit in the beginning. It's too much. It's too much information. You can't remember it. So if you take it video by video, watch the video, make the notes, study everything about that particular video and that particular pattern, identify them on the chart and practice different charts, Bitcoin, whatever other charts, then go to the second video and follow the same steps, right? That's, I think, the best and the most effective way to study Elliott waves, in my opinion. Cheers, Afshin. Oh, I see them in the chat, but not on Kunzes. That's an interesting one. I don't know, sometimes YouTube, it might not be fully synced, but if I close the chat, then I still don't see it on the main window. So I pop out the chat. So I have to pop out the chat out of my main window to move it around. But I also in the main screen, I don't see the other message. In that case, there are banned words that like YouTube has, and then a message is not displayed, or if there are words in a message that many scammers tend to use, so the usual scammy terminology, then likely it's auto banned as well. So what you could try is, if you have the message, just put some dots in between the words and see if you can post it. Sleeping in today. That's good. Patrick, how you doing? Just joined the stream. Patrick, don't know if you still want to learn or need to learn Elliott waves, but the announcement today is a full brand new playlist on Elliott waves. Everything is in here. It's completely public. Everything that someone has to know. Oh, look at that go. We got some Kiwis. Right there with you. I'm in Vanuatu. I don't know what it is, but is that New Zealand as well? Test. Hamza, what's up? Now I'm stuck and unsure when to close the short and let the long run, or close the long and let the short run. Yeah. Of course, I can't give financial advice. I'm also in a long and a short. I'm in two longs actually, and one short. And I entered the short to cover the longs. So it's a risk management short, pretty much. It's not necessarily a short that has the aim to be a very profitable short. It's mainly to cover for the longs. If price does move down and gets back in the range, probabilities for the bulls, right? Or probabilities for the bears increase the moment you take out 60 or 70.3k. That is when the probabilities increase to continue the range, at least. I shouldn't say bears, but continue the range, and then fall back into price action here. So because I have two longs running, I just covered with the short, just in case. So let's see. Let me open my window here. Yeah, so of course they're both running in profit because I pretty much shorted the high, interestingly. So that's not a bad place to short. And the short stop loss is already at break even. So I'm just managing at the moment. And the long stop loss is already in profit. So yeah, I you know, just probabilities. So yeah. But I can't really say, of course, what to do. It also depends where you've shorted or where you're long. What's the plan? What's the strategy? If you don't trade Elliott Waves and you have another way of trading, then that other way of trading, whatever it is, of course, needs to have an invalidation. It needs a target. It needs an entry. It needs something. Quite some volatility on the lower time frames, it seems. People are pressing the buttons here. Let's see what's happening. Green candle, yellow CVD moving down. That's an in candle bullish CVD as long as it closes green on the 3 minute. Because it means more people are selling than buying in the candle. But it closes green, meaning there's absorption. Now it plays out very quickly. So the moment this candle closes and the next one opens, the moment you take the high of the one candle, it's already played out. Now if we zoom out, we do have bullish CVD here, higher low in price, lower low on the CVD. As mentioned in the analysis, we also still got the untapped daily above us. So that could be quite interesting, 71.4K. And yeah, keeping an eye on this at the moment. If we hit 60 or 70.3K before taking out this high, probabilities are higher to continue the range. If we move up, then we just observe on what happens next pretty much. Step by step. Yeah, pleasure, Yasin, Ismail. Yeah, it's completely public. For sure, watch it. Cheers, Patrick. Yeah, it's yeah, took a lot of time, but it's all in here. Everything you need to know about Elliott Waves is in these videos, and I will still add some more videos, but that is not about patterns because all of them are covered already. The ones that I will add is an 886 video, a 618 video, a video about which structure is common, uncommon, or rare, and also a video about how waves develop and probabilities change as new information comes in. That will probably take some time, those ones. I already did that in the triangle videos. But I didn't do it for an impulse versus a zigzag. I did a little bit during the zigzag video. I also compared with an impulse. Like I talk about the 618 there. So yeah, just go through it, and there's even more to come. So it's that's the announcement, completely public playlist. Everything about Elliott Wave structure, fib targets. Both retracement and extension, Fibonacci time, volume, some examples, WXY, all the variations of a WXY and a WXYXZ, everything. Yes, Ali. I'll make sure to check my email. Cheers, Ali. I'll make sure to check it after the stream. Expert, yeah. Because the thing is, when the scammers write expert, they always talk about, oh, I made like 20 Bitcoin in like the last 6 months thanks to expert trader, blah, blah, blah. And I can't ban all the different names they always use, but I can use the terminology they always use. So, yeah. We bounce from EMA 120. Further upside targets. I mean, if you pass the daily, then arguably 73.1K is your next area. Of course, we have the high at 72K, but yeah, there's also here. You only have 2 highs. There's not too much left. So you have the high. Yeah, okay, we do have a daily naked point of control, but you would probably swing the high. Which is your next resistance if you do move up, and then above that it's a daily naked point of control, and above that is moon. Then there's nothing holding you back pretty much. You left a question in Discord. I pretty much answered this question already earlier. So 62, by the way, nice trade, right? 1 second. 60, oh wait, 62. So that is down here. And head short 66,800, looking up the profit. 66,800. So you shorted at the low of the range. Oh shit. How now I'm stuck and unsure when to close the short and let the long run, or close the long and let the short run. How would you proceed? It happens to me a lot. I don't know your strategy. I don't know your plan, but it's probabilities from an Elliott Wave point of view. So the short is now the problem. You got a nice long, by the way. But of course, the short is the issue. It's locking up your profits, which in a way is nice. But now, so I can't give you a level, or you got to close your short, because I'm not an advisor. It's up to you. The only thing that I can say is you will need to be able to identify where probabilities switch to bullish continuation, and that should be the close of the short. So the head short can be held as long as probabilities are not yet fully confirmed for the bulls, at least from an Elliott Wave point of view, I suppose. But the moment probabilities are switching in favor of the bulls by a big margin, and I don't want to mention levels. Of course, I've already put I've been talking about the probabilities here, but it's no financial advice. I manage, of course, my own stuff. You got a great long entry, but you gotta have a plan on where to close your short now. And of course, it makes most sense to close the short where the bulls will continue to have where the bulls will have the highest probability to continue to the upside. Yeah. So that's yeah, it's a probabilities question. It's a probabilities question. So as long as the probabilities are still there for the bears, and it's fine. But the moment probabilities switch heavily in favor of the bulls, from an Elliott Wave point of view at least, that would be a good moment to close. And you can always enter a short again at a later stage, when there's again some probabilities changing, or proof of resistance, or you want to hedge again just in case. So yeah, that would be the way to go for me. Of course, I can't say where to close a short and stuff, but it's for me. So with my head short, I just play probabilities. So I had a target box at the high here. Oh damn it, I removed it. What did we have here? We had a daily and a daily naked point of control. Of course, the point. Anyway. So we have a daily just above. And we had if you remember, we had a resistance box here as well. I already removed it. So because of the 886 being touched, and the potential at least for ABC or a WXY, I at least entered a short. It's literally here somewhere, like very close, just to cover. And initially, my stop loss was above the high. Because if you take out the high, then the bearish A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3 is invalidated, which means the only scenario that really would be WXY, continuation of the range and up for the bears, because there's not too many. It just increases. The moment you take 72K, it increases probabilities for the bulls. Doesn't mean you're going to just shoot up, but at least if you do move down, any move down is going to be corrective. Higher probability at least. So shorted there, had my stop loss there. If we do move down, happy days. Now that price have moved down a little bit, I put my stop break even, right? Because if price is going to come back up here, it's going to test the daily. And then I just want to observe to see what happens at this resistance. And if we pass the resistance and we take out the high, there is the potential for a 5 and then a 4 and then a 5 to move up to higher prices. Right? That has potential, or 72K, daily naked point of control. And then I just observe what price does at these levels. And then I can always go into a hedge short again at a later stage. But I would then preferably look for this impulse to be finished. So if we look for 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, this would be a hedge short for me. If this is going to be the highest probability scenario, we still need at least 2 more pushes to the upside in that case. So for, 5, 4, 5. It's all probabilities. So yeah. Whatever. If you post 10-hour long video, I'm here to learn. I think the full Elliott Wave theory, like beginner's guide, it's not even, it's all the info I have is in here. I just call it beginner's guide because of the way I present it, which is as easy as I can, as beginner friendly as I can, but still very valuable for the experts here. I think this is about, I haven't checked. I need to probably 1.5 hours to max 2 hours of content. I think, let's say 2 hours max. So no 10-hour videos just yet. Brother, put that white note thing behind your ear in your cap. Hello. Oh, here. Yo. Patrick watching the webcam, eh? Details. Bearish RSI, if any conflict with the bull CVD on Bitcoin. Potentially, yes. Did you learn it all by yourself, or did you get... no, I learned it all by myself, yeah. So, of course, when I started in this industry back in the day, of course, at the beginning, you're alone. And I did get into like just communities and friends, other people that I knew that were trading. But I got into touch with Elliott Waves through a guy named Birabit. And he was a buddy of mine in the trading space. And he showed me a screenshot about Elliott Waves back when price was trading between 30 and 40K in the bull market of 2021. And that is when that's when I asked, like, what is it? How does it work? And that is where I then started. So I also didn't know any communities about Elliott Waves and stuff. So I just learned it by myself. And it's honestly also the way I really like to learn it. I don't like too much influence from others. So a bit of a lone wolf, I suppose, when I study. But I study best by myself. And I already had this at school as well. So I was a medical student studying to become a doctor. And whenever I made my homework or I was studying, I preferably did it by myself alone instead of sitting in a group and then making homework together and stuff, you know. So I did by myself. So what I did, and I can still show you. I got multiple notebooks, but this is one of them. And what I did is I got my notebook out. I didn't know where to start, right? So I just Googled on Elliott Waves, and then you go through website and next and next and next and next, and you go through all the websites. And the best website that I have found, which is free and public, is this one. Link is in the description, right? So that is the one that I can recommend. It's for me, I think, the best one that you'll be able to find online. And where I started is literally where all of you probably started, is this. This is the first ever picture or first ever drawing I made years back. impulsive wave, corrective wave. Wave 2 can't drop like below start of wave 1, right? And wave 3 can't be the shortest. This is where I started, right? That's where I started. And then I have Elliott Wave theory and Fibonacci, and the relationship ABC, regular flat, running flat. So that's where I started. Just making notes. Get the notebook and start making notes, making drawings, trying to study it, repeat it, trying to implement it on the charts, and eventually quit for 2 months because I got pissed off that I didn't get it in my first year. At the end of my first year, I quit for 2 months with Elliott Waves because I didn't get it. And then I came back because once you get into Elliott Waves, you'll never get out of Elliott Waves because every time you open a chart, you're going to count the waves. Your head is going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. It just does it. So I was like, okay, we go back. And yeah, now we are here. Do you think wave number 3 that you count in 50 minutes does not have a little Fibonacci extension compared to wave 1? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it is not extended. Of course, there's always the potential for a triple 1, 2 here, but then we would expect a big explosive move to the upside. Take a fib from the low to the high to the low, right? And in that case, your wave 3 is shorter than your wave 1. But that also means that if price moves up, wave 5 has to be shorter than wave 3 because wave 3 can't be the shortest wave. So it's not an invalidation. And not to forget, we're talking double 1, 2s here. So the 1, 2 in blue is extended, or the wave 3 in blue is of course already extended in that case. In the bullish scenario, you're already above the 1.618, right? Moving to higher targets. Need to update my my things. 3. Now with the wide count, your wave 5 simply has to be shorter than your wave 3. If it is going to be longer, there is the potential for a complex structure here. But yeah, you first need to take the high, which we didn't. So 1, 2, and if this is your 3, and currently your 4, put it on the 1-to-1. Wave 5 should end before touching that. Over 100 likes. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for the likes. Cheers, Superpower, and also welcome here. I think it's your first message here as well. Oh, I gotta go a bit quicker. I see. Koens, would you be able to unlay from before, please? FRVP would be best to repeat. If you go to my channel, scroll down, and you go to how to trade naked point of controls using volume profile, that is where I explain more about volume profiles. So this will be the video that you wanna watch. Yeah. So with and just a short, like, I suppose, summary to answer the question is the point of controls, right, are daily volume levels. So on the day of, where was this? The 8th of April, most of the volume was traded at 72K. We got close, but we actually didn't like literally touch 72K. So I still have it on my chart, but it's just an example, right? So that is a point of control of that day. You can use the volume profile to find the point of control. You can use ATAS. You can use indicators for this as well. The one that I then recommend would be Market Sessions and Volume Profile by Leviathan. And so that is about like daily naked point of controls. However, sometimes you create a range and that range does not generate a daily, weekly, monthly point of control, naked point of control. So, but it is an important level. So when price has been in a range for a period of time, I like to see the volume in that range. So I pull the volume profile and be like, okay, interesting. Now that price, so we have been ranging here and price moved up. There's no daily naked point of control here though. So what I then like to do is, hey, if price does come down, at least these are some levels that I have to keep an eye on. And of course, I pull it from the beginning to the end of the range. Right. So yeah. So that's that in a nutshell. So at the moment, right, you could even do this. The final range before you take out the high has volume levels, and a point of control is where we find resistance at the moment. That's a great example. So yeah. And I already removed the daily naked point of control in the target box, but we also had a daily naked point of control here and the target box and the daily just above. So yeah. So whenever I don't get a daily naked point of control or horizontal, I just use the volume profile to observe the ranges. So that is the red lines, those are range point of controls. I have one down here as well of this range. So those are volume profile point of controls, yeah. And the value area high, value area low, and point of control, that's just volume profile stuff, right? So value area high is the blue line above, value area low, the blue line below, and the point of control is the middle. And with volume trade or with volume profile trading, generally it's range trading, up down, short at the high, long at the low, short at the high, long at the low, till it fails. If you move out of the volume level and then move back in, potentially retest, you're going to look for the point of control, lose the point of control, look for the value area low, right? And then you're at the lower end of the range again, where you can look for price to move to the upside. So it can be used for range trading strategies as well. Yeah, that would be something. The emojis can be not overshoot. Wave B in a zigzag can't, in a flat can. Yes. However, if we take the high at 72k and we want to count as a flat in a wave A, B, C, preferably somehow you end wave A here, but that's pretty difficult. If you end wave A here, then the only way we can make this a three-wave structure would be a flat internally, as this then becomes a wave C, for then an A, B, C. But a flat inside a bigger wave B of a flat, because you're looking for B and then C, so then we have a flat, regular flat, A, B, C inside B, that's extremely rare. So the probabilities would not be on the side for a flat if you take the high. So therefore I prefer the WXY, as in probabilities, Elliott Wave probabilities sake, I suppose. The same amount of shit. I mean, look, it depends on what hedge you're doing. But if you're hedging against your longs, then of course you want to use the same amount, because else you're not hedging against the longs. Yeah, it's quite a story. You want to look, my career in a nutshell, right? Professional gamer from 2007 till 2018. Esports player. I've done world championships and all the good stuff, playing in front of big audiences and great times. While doing that, I was a student, eventually a medical student. First, I finished biomedical sciences because I didn't got into the medical study, which is a lottery in the Netherlands, as you know probably. So because my interest is very much the human body. I love the human body. It's super interesting. So and I wanted to help people. So yeah, medicine study, medical study. Eventually, I made it to the Master of Medicine. While being at university, I was still a professional esports player. I started to host on TV, ESPN and Fox Sports, for esports related shows. So every Tuesday I missed university to host on national television, or at least Fox Sports is paid television. It was funny times. I was a starting speaker as well. So it was the first time I needed to set up my own company because of what was happening. I was a beginning speaker as well. And in 2017, 2018, companies started to approach me to work with me. And that's the moment when I decided to quit my studies and go into, my own business. As I had the opportunities to create something, I just wanted to grab the opportunity. And I spoke with the university and I said, this is the case, I wanted to give myself 1 year to see if I can make it. Can I earn enough money in a year to survive? That was it. Can I pay my sandwich? And can I pay my studio back in the day? And in 1 year, I earned enough to make that happen. And then I was like, well, if I can do it this year, I'll probably be able to do it next year. So why go back? If I did go back, I was able to start where I left off in my master's degree program of my medical study, but I never went back. And so when I stopped my medical study, I also wasn't an esports player anymore, but I did consultancy jobs in the gaming and esports industry. I was a host on television. I was a speaker, still doing national gigs. Eventually, I launched my own business, of course, and then I launched a second business in the educational space to help parents with gaming children. I wrote a book, My Gaming Child, for parents with gaming children. It's only in Dutch, by the way. Mijn Gamende Kind. And because of experiences that I had as a kid with my parents, and then I quit television in 2020. So then I had the educational business and speaking. And then I also became a global keynote speaker. And the educational business I stopped January this year because YouTube came, and I just enjoyed YouTube more. And I like to do what I enjoy doing. So so it was a difficult decision, but it's the most fun decision. So I started to make YouTube videos. So I started to get into trading in January 2020. Then the pandemic happened. But as an entrepreneur, I could regulate my own time, and I was a speaker, so there wasn't too much going on, and except for speaking in front of the webcam all the time. So I had lots of time, learned about trading, eventually developed my strategy, learned about Elliott Waves, and that's how eventually I got better in trading. And then I got questions from people about Elliott Wave, so I started to make some videos. And then at a certain moment, I made a bit of a plan for YouTube, like how am I going to structure this? And now 1 year and 3 months and a little bit later, here we are, at 11.6K subs, which is ridiculous. But because of the growth on YouTube, it became difficult to do YouTube with my educational business. So I knew I had to make a decision. And I just enjoy trading and YouTube a lot more. I love live streaming. It's probably from my gaming days as well. As an esports player, I was live on Twitch all the time, talking to the community. I'm a people person. I love talking with people, not when I study, but when I, do this stuff. So I love streaming. Trading for me is like playing a game. It's about figuring out the puzzle on the chart. It's like puzzling every day. I just enjoyed it a lot more. And I eventually made the decision to quit the educational business. And then I have trading, which I, of course, already do for a while, right? For a long time. And then we have global keynote speaker. And I really like to do YouTube. I just do what I enjoy doing. Of course, it's a luxury position, which I realize. But that is because I made difficult decisions in the past that gave me the opportunity to have the freedom I have now. So that is how I went from doctor to Elliott Wave trader, pretty much. Once you go Elliott, you can't go back. True. Okay. Is there 1 hour bearish CVD? Does bullish CVD overrule bearish CVD in an uptrend? So with regards to CVD, right? We have bullish CVD here, higher low in price, and then we have a lower low on yellow. However, what I prefer to do is to look at CVD on the right side of a new high or low. In this case, we then have a new high in the uptrend. So what I prefer to see is bullish CVDs on the right side here. That would be ideal. Of course, price can move up and just with leading CVDs, but at the moment we have bearish CVDs here, lower high on price, higher high on the CVD. Invalidation is taking the high, right? It's a clear invalidation. And then you have this high, you again, lower high on price, higher high on CVD. If price on a 3-minute time frame would start to create some bullish CVDs while it's grinding to the upside, that of course would be positive. No? But then I prefer to see a couple of waves, a bit of a grind, a structure up, and then see bullish CVDs coming in. So what I then prefer to see is price do this, chuck, and then bull CVD. Right? But you do have both bullish and bearish CVDs in the current range that you're in. Higher low, lower low, and locally lower high, higher high. Right? So yeah, it's not always an ideal scenario to use CVD per se, but I prefer CVD on the right side of recent highs or lows just because it's the most recent info. So I keep an eye on the bullish CVD as well. So it would be good to see either or invalidated. If probabilities are not in your favor or things are very confusing, just wait for the next opportunity. Wait, this guy. What's up with the Gulf Shores? Lol. So he's been in here multiple times, no problemo. But good morning from the beach. What's up, mate? Uh, 1 hour time frame. Weekly time frame bullish, daily time frame bullish, even if you do drop down. 4 hour time frame would... It's arguably bullish as long as you don't touch 70.3k, but the moment you touch this high here, the probability switch to a continuation of the range. So you want to stay above 70.3k, right? And then I mean 300. So this low did not yet touch, it's actually this high. We didn't yet touch this high. That is a probabilities switcher on the 4 hour and therefore the 1 hour as well. Yes, Telegram. Yeah, Telegram is in the description. There's a link in the description to the Telegram channel. Cheers, Kiwi. Settings of the volume profile are also shared in the video, but for the sake of answering the question, here you go. You can either extend it to right or you don't, of course. And my row size, I have different templates. Row size 148, 300, 500,000, and 5,000. Good night, Kiwi. Thanks for popping in. I not a celebrity. Look, if you Google my name in the Netherlands, if you're Dutch and you would Google my full name, yeah, you're gonna find a lot of TV interviews and radio and newspaper and all sorts of stuff. But a BN'er, a celebrity, is next level. You know, that's definitely not. I don't even know what you find. What do you find? Yeah, speakers, news, book, interviews, speaking, Trichter, book. This is all book. London Speakers Bureau, news, more news. I mean, I also have a news document, so I still have to. I'm so bad with updating news all the time, but I also have to update my title. But this is all, not all, because I actually forgot about a period. But these are all the interviews I've had in my life, except for the ones that I missed. So it started. Let me go down. Ooh. It started here, 27th of November 2014. That's when I got on 3FM, which is a radio station. And then this is where it kicked off. NOS. This is the interview that started my whole media, like the rest is history type of thing. Like one interview with the NOS, and everyone in the Netherlands, somehow everyone has your number. So then all the channels started calling, and then interview after interview, and then 2018, 2019, 2020, and and then yeah, I haven't updated recently. I've done an interview again for an online article, but it's not in here. I got a bit lazy, I suppose. I gotta update it. I actually just gotta do it, I suppose. I'm too scared to short into the pump. Insecure. The second one would be longer than the first, so I guess that's my excuse. Yeah, have a plan, trade a plan. If price can at least take out this high, that would be at least step one, because of course you do have CVD here. What's the retracement? Just missed out on hitting the 886, but at least taking out this high, that would be step one, no? Oh, we had some bullish CVD on blue. Higher low, lower low, but then I'll play out. So you want to take out this high, which invalidates the bearish CVD here. If you hit the 886, then probabilities increase to take out this high, as any move down will have a higher probability of being a wave C or a wave Y. And then you end up at the daily. And then above the daily, we have the, where is it? Daily naked point of control. And there we go. What games did you, Trackmania. It's not the biggest game, but it is the game that started, everything I do now is thanks to my career in Trackmania. So yeah, I was a professional Trackmania esports player for 11 years. And I played for many teams over the years: Dignitas, Big Grip Gaming, Acer. Acer was probably the longest period. Infused Gaming. Expert, which is the hardware shop. Wait for the next train to go, then run after the one you've missed. Correct. I love PC gaming. Yeah, I'm a PC gaming guy. Yeah. I agree, Patrick. Just finished the drop challenge. Rudy, welcome home. Welcome home. Good to have you back in front of the PC and the chart, therefore. Interesting start of an impulse. Yeah, interesting. We now hit the 886 as well, of course. So a three-way structure to the downside. Zigzag. See what happens next, no? Daily is above. So now my hedge short is out at break even and the longs run, and now we just wait and see what we get. Before I would enter another hedge short, it will probably take a couple of hours of price action. Because yeah, I need probabilities to change. We took the high now. W, holy moly, you what? 20 to 23. Okay, W, yes. X now. X is a WXY. With W from 23 to 27. So then if this is W, right, then you need to count a zigzag in W. And there is a possibility, right, for this to be a W. It's just it looks three wavy here as well as three wavy here, so it looks a bit better as a WXY, in that case double zigzag. That's why I put my W here. But okay, yeah, you can count a zigzag if that's what you count, of course. W, and then where's your X? And X is a WXY with WX to 31. So this is your X. And then Y. Yeah, the problem is that in a sideways double combo WXY, where your wave X retraces to below the 0.7, taken from the low to the high of W, the probabilities are significantly reduced for a double zigzag, which therefore means in a sideways double combo, wave Y is not allowed to be a zigzag if W is a zigzag. So if you have your X here and this is Y, then Y is the same as W. W is a zigzag in your book. Now Y here can either be a triangle or a flat, but it's none of both. And a double zigzag has very low probabilities because wave X moved below the 0.7 Fibonacci, taken from the low to the high of W. Patrick, Fortnite professional for 3 years. Yo, did you participate in any events, any tournaments? Cosmin, no problem. Welcome to Elliott Wave theory. From a theory point of view, how long can corrective structures come one after another without having an impulse? So, of course, a corrective structure is always related to an impulse. So if you have, for example, an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have a corrective structure, it depends on what you count here, right? So anyway, let's say this impulse is a wave 1 and you look for a wave 2, then your wave 2 most commonly ends between the 3A2 and the 4, well actually most commonly between the 3A2 and the 2 fib time, taken from the start to the end of 1 with the fib time tool. Right, but then the 4 fib time is still okay, and the moment you go to 5 and 6, 2 gets very long. If this is a wave A, then a wave B has a higher probability of being longer, so a longer range, going towards a 3 or 4. If this move is your wave 3, and you already had a wave 1 and a 2 here, then you relate this corrective structure with wave 2, and not with the impulse, which means fib time taken from the start to the end of 2 to the end of 3. I know you're a beginner, so I might go too quick, but basically what is perfect for you is going through the brand new playlist I literally launched today, so lucky you. Everything that you need to know about Elliott Waves is in here. Everything from the structures to the fib retracements, fib extensions, Fibonacci time, which includes your question pretty much, volume, tips and tricks and different things. Everything is in here. So I recommend to go through all of this. This is a full-on course, beginner's guide, whatever you like to call it, right? So yeah, that would be the way to go. Because it depends on what impulse you're looking for. So, but generally, if you have an impulse, a corrective structure shouldn't really go past the 6 fib time. That is when it's really long and you prefer to look for something else. In other words, 6 times longer than the impulse. So, how long can corrective structures come one after another without having an impulse? So you can have a corrective structure in a WXY, that's what you get, right? So in a WXY, you get a WXY, which are technically 3 corrective structures into one bigger pattern, which is a WXY. But this WXY is going to be related to either or in this case, an impulse to the upside. So the whole structure in time is then connected to the impulse that brought you up there. And you don't really want to see it 6 times longer. You know. Cheers, Sambev. Cheers, cheers. A pleasure. Almost all-time high on SPX and NASDAQ. Pumping. Erik Doriol Flam, you don't believe it? I do, considering your continuous higher lows for longs and lower highs for shorts. But I don't use swing failure patterns with CVD. It's two different things. So I definitely believe in that regard. In swing failure patterns, yeah, grabbing the liquidity and then moving it the opposite way. But I don't use CVD to confirm a swing failure pattern. How do you make a plan? How do you trade Elliott Waves? And how do you make a plan? Well, making a plan would be, this is, first of all, how do you trade Elliott Waves? First, you need to know everything about Elliott Waves. And once your skill level is high, right, that is when subjectivity goes down. So you'll be able to better estimate the probabilities for scenarios, and therefore you can trade probabilities. Of course, you need to look for entries and then preferably some local proof of support or resistance to confirm your probability. How do you make a plan is the 6 steps that I always talk about. So these 6 steps. So you can stop the stream and read this if you want. I always talk about these. Of course, it's 7 steps, but only because the first step was added in the case of the conversation. But it's actually these steps. This is building a plan, and that is what Diamond is for. Diamond is focused on creating a plan and trading a plan. So in Diamond, that is where I share about, like, I have a data-driven strategy, so I share that. I share how I've made it as well. The daily is hit. I also share other files in here to build statistics and gather statistics. So that is Diamond is all about building a plan, creating a plan. Gold is more Elliott Waves and improving your Elliott Waves knowledge. And so you get feedback, Q&As, private live streams, counting other charts than Bitcoin. That's all gold is very much feedback, Q&A, private streams, increasing the learning curve of people. And silver is short-term update. So yeah, trading Elliott Waves starts with knowing everything about Elliott Waves. You can't trade Elliott Waves if you miss information, which of course is a lot. So before you can trade Elliott Waves, you likely study Elliott Waves for at least 2 years. You can trade it after a day, but before you can effectively trade Elliott Waves, as in the probabilities, and the probabilities, and your win rate is going up. Takes a bit of time. But yes, in foreign there are 3-4 tournaments a week, and then could be in Ohio State. Plays top 10 in those multiple times. Nice, Patrick. It's always nice to meet other either ex or existing professional players. I've met many in my career, but sometimes they pop in here as well. I mean, in a way, trading has some similarities with playing games. We could still get a flat in the wave Y case. Yes, that's correct. Either a flat or a triangle. We'll go deep on the videos this afternoon. Looking forward to it. Cheers, Cosmin. Yeah, and if you have questions, feel free to join the community. Pop questions there. But I'm not sure how. So people can ask questions in the comments or in Discord. It will be time management to see if I get to it, because eventually, for now I can answer most, but eventually there will probably be a time where I can't answer everything because my time's running out. But for now I can. Taking the high would just reduce the probabilities for the WXY. No, because in the wave Y, you're also looking for a wave C. So you're still looking for either then a wave C to end or the multi 1-2, and you continue. Right. So at the moment we just create higher lows, higher highs. We did not touch 70.3K. So the probabilities remain higher for the bulls. Now that you took this high, right? So we had this, right? This is the probabilities would have switched if you take out this high. But now we made a new low before actually hitting the high. So there is now the possibility, of course, there's the potential for your 4 to be finished here. And then you look for 5. Now what's the volume doing? Making a new high on lower volume. So yeah, there is the potential here for this and then that, and then continue this range. So now I can't keep the invalidation here on the chart. I will have to remove it because we took the high of 3, which now means that the invalidation, and also this one goes off, and then we do this. So now we're going to eventually look for the blue wave 4. So wherever price goes, wherever it eventually tops and starts a new range, we're going to pull the 618, because we're going to be looking for the blue wave 4. Now a wave 4 of a higher degree likes to retrace to the wave 4 price action of a lower degree. So if we do move up for a wave 5 and therefore finish blue 3, then generally this area here is going to be very important support for the blue wave 4. Of course, we need to wait a little bit and see if we get some continuation to look for 5 or 3, W, X, Y, continue. But because we took the high, I can't use this anymore as an invalidation, because this new structure can either be a wave 5 or still part of the white wave 4, but we don't know, right? It depends on the structures we're still here. So yeah, now we start focusing slowly on blue 4. And therefore the 618 is going to move up as price would make higher highs. So at the moment, it doesn't matter. The 618 can go off. And as long as price is moving up, we again just got to wait for a range to form. The videos are in a playlist. It's on the channel here. So you go to the homepage or you go to playlists, and then this is the whole playlist. It's in a playlist. And then if you go to playlists, right, and you click on view the full playlist, you can start at number 1 and then just you go through everything up to down. With the 1-to-1 or fibs, don't matter with S&P. So now you're in a strategy development phase in this case. Now you're going to combine Elliott waves with swing failure patterns. Elliott waves is not necessarily related with SFPs, but you can use previous highs and lows as a support resistance area inside an Elliott wave area of interest. So if you do have a area of interest between the 1 and the 1.236 on the chart, and there is a potential swing failure pattern in that area, then it can be an additional resistance or support area. And if that high or low is taken and you see a reaction, it might trigger a short that you can use for Elliott waves. But of course, it's two separate strategies. So they can work, right? They can absolutely work together. But it's just an additional support resistance area. So it's the same as what I use with my target boxes and stuff. So when I, for example, here at the low, I had my box, which is nicely respected. And there's no guarantee that from a wave perspective, you move to this box. But from Elliott Wave's perspective, this was an area of interest. And then inside the Elliott Wave area of interest, I recognize the most important area of support. So inside the bigger area, my main area of support is the blue box. So that would be my main area of interest to see how price reacts. And then if it reacts positively, it might lead to a long. So same with the swing failure pattern. Arguably, you actually had a swing failure pattern here, right? On top of support in the area of interest, which can be the reason to move into a long trade, yes. Loads of liquidations, not surprised. Cheers, Adam. How you doing, man? From breakfast stream to lunchtime stream. How long have we been online now? Oh, 2 hours and 20 minutes. So yeah, answer this question. Everything is online, the whole playlist. Pleasure, Eric. Rostam, trading Elliott Waves with other confluences in your plan. I mean, everyone has their own style, of course. Some people might trade Elliott Waves as they come. But I prefer to also use other tools that I have mastered over the years that give me a better entry, better stop loss positioning, better win rate in the end, right? Better win rate or risk to reward ratio, yeah. What's up, Saraga? How you doing? Okay, no problem. So on the 4 hour, here you go. So this is the 4 hour is on a linear time scale. Maybe that's the issue you have. So if I remove my webcam, log is when it's blue, linear when it's off. So this is the linear scale, right? The normal scale, probably the one you use the most. And on a weekly time frame, so 75.8, 73.3. And on the weekly, we want to use log. And then we take the fib trend based from the low to the first high to the low here. And then do this. 76.9. So it's just above the 0.618 on a linear scale. But if I open log, if I do both on log, then you can see that the 0.618 and the 1.618 are literally at the same level. 76950. Right? And if I turn log off, then you can see the 0.618 is 758. It's just a small difference, but it's the 618 would be in confluence with that 1.618. Yeah. Pleasure, Saraga. Oh shit, Ace. Oh boy. Sorry to hear that, mate. Yeah. Like what? So of course, what I recommend again is the 6. It will take time, but please, for the sake of your wallet, go through these 6 steps, right? Or 7, low budget. Also, risk 1%. There's no reason to go 25x, and you know, it doesn't matter how much money you have, but it's still, if you put $100 in an account and it's a little, and you use 25x, and then you blow an account, and then you add another $100. You just it adds up. So just risk 1% per trade till you have a consistently profitable strategy or plan that you've developed, right? Because yeah, it's of course painful to liquidate an account, of course. The WXY will significantly lower in probabilities when it hits the 1.618 because that's an uncommon target. Where is it? Oh. $72.6. Do you remember, have you analyzed a VET lately? Ooh. Well, I don't think lately, like in recently. Lately, I think that the most recent stream was Ethereum, Solana, Matic, Doge, DOT, YGG, Jasmine, IOS. And before, the stream before that one was SEI, Ondo, RNDR, DOT, PETH, Bonk, KDA, and Matic. And then before that, I think I removed the papers from my notebook here. So those, and I did put timestamps in the videos. So if you go to the channel and you go down, not down here, home, and then go down, then altcoins, the first two, I also didn't put, so I have timestamps in the video, but I actually didn't put the coins in the title, which I now do. So that's something I have to continue doing. But I'm not sure if VET was one of them. All the timestamps are in here, so I would recommend to check this. The 6 hour and 40-minute one, we did like 19 coins, and a 4.5, probably like 13 or something. Answer that. I'll be back. Yeah. Trade safe, Ace. Trade safe, you know. Got to work hard, of course, for the pennies. Keep your tuition as low as you can, right? So yeah, it's always shit to hear, of course. But yeah, need a plan. Create a plan or a strat. Have a stop loss, have a TP. Scenario now. Well, now we, right, in this range, I mean, nothing really changed. So locally in the range, either look for a continuation of the impulse to the upside here, right? 1-1-2, or looking for 5 and then 3 and then another 4 and another 5, right? And if we take this high, then at least the zigzag is invalidated, which would be nice. A, B, C. Your bearish scenario continues to be the WXY here, probability-wise. 1.618 would be your max target, really. But this is still bullish. So if you take out 72K, that is when probabilities for the bulls increase, and any move down after has a high probability of just being corrective and not impulsive. So, and as long as price is pushing on volume, just general tip from an Elliott Wave point of view is to wait for a range to form. Yeah, probably a very long sideways range. Rostam, for me, it's 100% fib extensions and just fib. I never use inverse. Also in the playlist, in the educational playlist on my channel now, the Elliott Wave playlist, I don't use any inverse. Karen K, I'll make sure to check it. after. On stream, I can't check the Diamond Lounge on stream. Do you think? But let me at least have a look off stream and I can answer it. For a 1-to-1 setup with bullish stuff. What time frame are we? 15 minutes. Oh, on Doge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is the potential. That would be your most bullish count. I think your second wave one is also shorter than your first wave one. You do have bullish CVDs at least. So yeah, there is potential. That would be of course, your most bullish scenario would be that. So you also need a bearish scenario. Both on the chart, they give the same target area. So I prefer to use the extensions for a wave 5 as well as then the normal fib. Arguably, it's an inverse, but for a wave 5, one way is to take a fib from the start. If you're talking about wave 4 finished to the low and then toggle on the 1.618 and the 1.236, right? And then all the other ones are extensions. Start of 1, end of 1, end of 4. Start of 1, end of 3, end of 4. Yeah. I never use inverse. Double top bearish. Yeah, just wait for a range to form now, no? So as long as price, some volume coming in, and yeah, we just wait. And also now that price took out this high before taking 70.3k, even in the impulsive scenario, you can't use 70.3k now as an invalidation for 4 anymore, because possibly this is your white 5 to end blue 3. Then you're going to be looking for 4. So in other words, you're going to be looking for this to end and then again start a range, and then move up in 5 in a bullish scenario. At least finishing an impulse. And the wave 4 of a lower degree becomes important support. So yeah. Okay, everyone, 2.5 hours. I want to end this stream by saying, hey, if you haven't yet checked it, or you don't know what the announcement is we had today, it is a full Elliott Waves guide. It's a full course, if you want to say it. It's all public. It's all there. Everything that you need to know is in there. Each pattern, each structure has its own video. It's very short. It's very concise. It's very to the point. Every video explains the structure, the fib targets and extension targets, Fibonacci time, volume, possibly examples and other stuff. So everything you need to know about Elliott Waves is here. It's all there. So this has been launched today. Took a long time to make, not gonna lie, but I'm happy it's online. There will be some more videos coming. All the patterns and all the structures have been done, so that's done. But I will add some extra stuff like how do you trade how do you learn Elliott Waves, first of all, because it can be very overwhelming. I make a video about the 886. I'll make one about the 618. I'll make a video about what's common, uncommon, and rare. I'll make a video. Probably multiple videos about how probabilities change as new info comes in. So this is a completely new playlist. I'll make sure to put it in Discord and also put it in Telegram so people are up to date, at least in the communities. And yeah, everything you need to know, it's all in here. It's all in here. So yeah, Elliott Waves in a nutshell. There you go. So yeah, 4 didn't pass the 618, not here at least. So yeah, thanks everyone. 4, by the way, Afshin went to the 236382. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Hopefully you're gonna enjoy the playlist. Make sure to let me know what you think of it. And yeah, it's quite exciting that now it's online. So yeah, cool stuff. So let's see what the feedback is going to be. And I made it as simple as I could. I call it beginner's guide only because I explain Elliott Waves as simple as I can, and it should be understandable for beginners, but also the advanced people will be able to watch these videos with everything that's in there. So yeah, cheers everyone. Tonight will probably be an update later tonight in many hours. So later tonight, it's now 6 p.m. almost here, so I don't know, couple of hours easily, see what the chart is going to give us. Make sure you trade safe, stick to a plan and a strategy. And tomorrow, of course, is a new live stream. So thanks for being here. Catch you later.